Hey guys, it's Billy and welcome back to Spill Sesh. I want to give a trigger warning before this video. We're talking about a lot of dark subjects, so please do not watch this if you have trouble hearing about those things. We're talking about Jeffree Star, and I want you guys to know this isn't an easy video for me to make. I'm not trying to pull out these old receipts of Jeffree to cancel Jeffree. I don't like cancel culture. I'm not trying to ruin people's lives. It's just like absolutely ridiculous. The reason why I'm talking about it is because I've seen a lot of things on the internet as of recent that have gotten people to start talking about Jeffree. When Jeffree came out and supported James Charles in a tweet, people were starting to question, hey, this isn't actually the first time that Jeffree has gone back on his word and accused someone of being a predator and then going back to supporting them. After Jeffree re-supported James Charles, all of this stuff started coming out about Geoffreys Past, and I know it's dumb, right? It's so dumb to talk about someone's past, especially if someone is completely different now. I get it. I get it. But as some more stuff has been coming out, people don't think Jeffree has changed as much as he says he has. And I totally understand those that are going to say, what does Jeffree's character have to do with any of this? It's true, it really doesn't. But it did give some people some hope that maybe he wasn't lying in the past and that he could actually come out in 2020 and help people that couldn't have been helped 10 years ago. When all of this old stuff started coming up, one of the things that Jeffree had said in regards to Dahvie Vanity, who was in the band Blood on the Dance Floor, they toured together, all of this stuff, they have a lot of friendly photos together where it seems like they are really close. There is a tweet where Jeffree is even calling Dahvie his brother. Once all this stuff came out, more information started leaking that Dahvie was a predator. He had done things with children. He had hurt a lot of people. And people felt as though Jeffree had the power and ability to convict this man and put him behind bars because Jeffree once tweeted out this exact thing. He said, "I'm gonna speak the truth till I die." We saw at Blood on the Dance Floor music Dahvie bring underage girls to his hotel room and do blank things, 100% illegal. So once people found out that Jeffree had information, and not only just information, but had claimed he witnessed with his own eye, not only Dahvie bring underage girls to his hotel room, but he said, we saw Dahvie do these things to the girls that were 100% legal. Not just bring a girl to a hotel room because, you can bring someone to a hotel room and that won't be illegal, but he said he saw the act of doing something, not just going to a hotel room. So people started bringing this up, and of course, there's people that are bringing stuff up because they want to cancel Jeffree. They don't like him. I get it. He has a terrible past. He really does. I've seen a lot of things that are very concerning and very disturbing. Yes, it is so troubling, but it really takes away from the important stuff that is happening in this particular conversation. Yes, I would love to see Jeffree address some of the new stuff from his past that is coming out, and that is very disturbing, but I also don't want people to hear me talk about those videos and bring them up and then think that the entire reason why I'm covering this Dahvie Vanity story is because I don't like Jeffree and I want to cancel him, and then just have all this information about Dahvie and Jeffree's history go in one ear and out the other. I want people to think that I'm being fair about this, and I want them to know that they can trust that I'm giving them the facts. So that's why I'm not coming out here and just showing you all these videos of Jeffree that is not really good on the internet, because I'm not trying to convince you that Jeffree is a bad guy. There's a clear bad guy in the situation. As you guys will see later, there are lies that Jeffree does tell, and it is super disappointing. But in order for you guys to understand the whole situation and believe me, you have to trust that I'm not trying to destroy Jeffree, and if I was, I would be showing you those videos that are just not great right now, and I just don't want to even touch that topic right now. It has nothing to do with what originally started this whole situation, and I want to finish one story before beginning another. The purpose of all of this is to truly see if Jeffree had the information and the actual evidence that could convict Dahvie and bring justice to his victims. Jeffree once said he had witnessed something very terrible happen to girls, victims, And a victim has come out and said that it is true that Jeffree did see stuff happen to them. After saying that he went back to being friends with Dahvie Vanity, going back on tour, and I don't know who on earth would call someone their brother and not even be friends with them. The reason why I'm talking about it again is because Jeffree Star did an interview with Chris Hansen, who is a journalist, and this was the first time that Jeffree had come out and even started talking and addressing the stuff that has been coming out publicly. Because prior to that, he had only been in the DMs with certain drama channels saying that a lot of these tweets were photoshopped and that it was getting twisted and misunderstood. Now, in the interview, a lot of people were disappointed because Chris Hansen wasn't asking these hard-hitting questions, and it seemed like Jeffree was the one that was taking the reins and taking control of this interview, and he was going to be directing the narrative. In the interview, we basically found out that Jeffree had zero information that could really convict Dahvie. Everything that he said he saw, he didn't ever see it. So that was just him being dramatic and exaggerating. And he said that while they were on tour together, they heard stories, and the stories of the victims were very believable, and that's why he tweeted those things, and he never actually did see anything. So it's disappointing to know that Jeffree once said that he saw something, and people thought that he had the ability to help these victims and help put Dahvie away, when in reality he was just exaggerating and he never actually saw anything. And the reason why he went back to going on tour with Dahvie, he answered those questions that people had been asking. He said it was because Dahvie had convinced him that everything wasn't true, and when Jeffree asked one of his trusted sources if they had ever seen him do anything illegal, they said they had seen him do inappropriate things but nothing illegal. And so he made the decision that he was going to go back on tour with Blood on the Dance Floor. He also made it seem like Dahvie was just some annoying fan. Jeffree was really downplaying his friendship with Dahvie by saying that he was just being dramatic and exaggerating when he called him his brother. They weren't that close. He's saying that he never brought any of his fans to the shows because most of his fans would leave after he would perform, and he was for sure trying to make sure that all of his bases were covered in terms of him going back on tour with Dahvie. So insane to me, because the tweets really do make it seem like they were friends, and the photos that they have together really make it seem like they're friends, but that's what Jeffree's saying, that they weren't as close as he made it seem like they were. Now, I don't really know what happened in between Jeffree going back on tour with Dahvie to present day, where Jeffree decided he was going to believe the victims all of a sudden and really truly believe that Dahvie is a predator and that he's done these things and that he deserves to be behind bars. I don't know what day Jeffree woke up and said, I'm gonna start believing the victims now. He didn't really go into detail about why he decided to change his mind again and start calling Dahvie a predator once again. All in all, I wanted to talk about the interview because, it is something that happened, and yeah, it's something from the past, but Jeffree came out and talked about it, so we're talking about it, and I wanted to recap kind of what he said and what his reasons were for everything that people were bringing up. 100% it's disappointing to know that Jeffree doesn't actually have any visual evidence or stories that he could tell that could convict Dahvie Vanity and give these victims what they want, which is to see Dahvie behind bars. It's disappointing to know that he lied about seeing anything go down in hotel rooms. Like I said, there is a victim that has come out and said that they know that Jeffree saw them and that those tweets were about them. So if Jeffree is currently lying about lying back then, I don't know what is going on, but I'm just telling you guys, this is what he's saying. And it's disappointing to know that this is kind of a pattern where Jeffree has come out and said he has seen someone do something very terrible and accuse them of being a predator, and then going back to supporting them.
Got a little derailed by Miss James Charles uploading a very manipulative, weird video, and I will show you guys things that I'm sure he never wanted to come to light, but here we are. But there are so many things that you guys don't know, and you know me. If you've been following me for a long time, I am not a liar. All I know is honesty, and I am hurt right now, and I'm sad. But I had a very good reason for chiming in, and there is a lot of stuff behind the scenes that I need to share with you guys. And I got to come forward with a lot more that I didn't want to share.
People are very much comparing it to the fact that if we had known that Jeffree had a history of calling someone a predator and then saying that he actually had no evidence to share and then going back to supporting them, they don't think that Dramageddon would have happened, and they don't think that James Charles would have been as canceled as he was. But because people didn't know that Jeffree had accused people of being a predator before James Charles, and that he was super just dramatic with his words and was still going to comment and call people that despite never even seeing anything, I think James Charles wouldn't have been as canceled as he was. So that's kind of what's been going on. It's really crazy. I know a lot of people are disappointed that none of the videos that had come out about Jeffree, like there's one of him in the bathroom with someone that is really drunk, and people wanted that to be addressed because some things that were said in the video weren't so great. It was just really disturbing, to be honest. The interview just wasn't what people really wanted to know. I know a lot of people are saying that, you know, why are we talking about Jeffree in this? And it really is just because he said that he had visual evidence, and it's kind of shot in the dark now. We know he doesn't have any. So there's not much that he can do. Everything that is coming out about Jeffree, that's like a separate conversation. Jeffree is going to talk to Keemstar next, so that will be interesting. Like I said, Jeffree hasn't really come out on his own Twitter or YouTube to talk about the situation. So if he really was trying to put Dahvie away, I feel like he would want to do something on his own channel, but I'm not sure. If he never really did see Dahvie do anything, then it's a big chance that Dahvie could have sued him for what he said about him in the past. Like, it is defamation of character, so I'm not sure if he's just being really cautious and can't, you know, outright say that he saw something. If there's no proof that he saw something, I don't know. It's a messy situation, but it'll be interesting to see what Keemstar has to say. He did come out on Instagram and kind of brief that he was going to be doing this interview. And one last thing that I will leave you guys with is that Jeffree has been saying that he is doing this for the victims. He wants them to be at peace and know that Dahvie is put away and he's not hurting any more people. But a lot of people pointed out that they felt like Jeffree was actually throwing shade at one of the victims when he posted on Twitter immediately after the interview. He said the golden age of grotesque. And someone noted, Gigi spilled the tea, pointed it out, and tweeted, "Really can't help but feel like this is a direct reference to Damien, aka Jesse Slaughter, whose screen name on everything is at De Grotesque Dami." Obviously, like I said, Jeffree is denying ever seeing anything, but I'm not sure if it's a coincidence that he used the word grotesque and that Damien's screen name is De Grotesque Dami. Like, I really don't know what to think of this. This is crazy. I don't want to believe that Jeffree is out here shading victims and that he's, I don't know, you guys. So let me know what you guys thought. Did you guys watch the interview? Are you going to watch the Keemstar interview? What are your thoughts on Jeffree? What are your thoughts on what he said? Let's talk about it in the comments down below. I love you guys so much, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye, guys.